Well, good afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Michael Wilhite here with Southern Indiana Weather. Want to bring you a quick forecast update on our snow chances this coming weekend. Want to make this a fairly quick video. I'll go a little bit longer and maybe a little bit more in depth tomorrow as I have more time. I think by tomorrow we'll start to get a better handle on some things, but I think some things are starting to be a little bit clearer. So let me just start off with a timeline, what you can expect this weekend, then we'll dive into the data a little bit. A few snow showers and some flurries possible this afternoon and this evening as a cold front moves in. It's going to get bitterly cold into the single digits tonight as we get this cold front cleared on past. Could be some accumulations, but they look fairly limited to me at this point. Better chance of accumulating snow comes on Sunday. That's when a strong clipper system is going to come through. I think a good inch or two of snow, maybe even a little bit higher, could be possible through that area. We'll look at that in a second. And then, of course, on Monday, there is a winter storm that's possible, but lots of questions still on track and intensity, folks. Yes, it is possible it may miss us just to our south. Really going to be tomorrow before I think we can fine tune those details a little bit more. Let me just start to take this one by one and show you what's going on. Let's look at future radar. Here's the high resolution NAM model. And let's get you an idea of what's going on here. Snow showers associated with that cold front start to break out later this afternoon as we move through here. Now, this is not going to be a particularly major event for us. It's going to be a light coating for some folks. Some folks won't even get it. That's gone. We'll start to clear out overnight, and we'll have a bitterly cold night. Pretty cold tomorrow, too, with high temperatures confined to the low 20s. Then we'll cloud up for Saturday night, and by the time that Sunday morning rolls in, we are starting to see some of those snow showers begin to roll in. High-res NAM suggesting some accumulating snow rolling in for Sunday morning. It's not overly impressive with its snow totals. It only sees out to 60 hours, which is on Sunday afternoon here at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's not as impressive on its snow totals as what some of the others are, but it looks like an inch or two could certainly be possible on Sunday. Now let's talk then about what we can expect. Here we go. Here is what we can let's time it back to here. Here is the overnight hours on Saturday night into Sunday morning. We're at 1 a.m. Sunday morning here. And notice the precipitation starting to dive down. Remember the dashed blue lines here is the typical rain-snow changeover line. We're cold. This is all snow. That snow moves in, and it gives us a little thumping of snow here. By the time that moves out of the way, then you got a deeper low developing down to our south. This would be the potential winter storm. We're looking at not the current Euro run here. We're looking at the Euro run from yesterday. The one from today is similar, and I'll talk about that in just a second here. But notice this goes pretty far to our south here, but it does deal a pretty decent little thumping of snow just north of the Ohio River and into Kentucky as well. Definitely some precipitation typing issues, though. There's the rain-snow changeover line. So we certainly could be looking at the potential for some ice and snow around the area. That's still some details that we've got to work out. Now, that moves off, and then we've got another little system that kind of dives down, another clipper system behind it that dives down for Tuesday if the Euro is indeed right. Now, the current Euro, this is yesterday's run of the Euro. The current Euro, I don't have the nice maps here up for you yet. But I can show you. I can't show you the Euro from the other site that I use. They don't allow it. But the Euro is a little bit different than this from today. Today's Euro is just a little bit further to the south by about 50 miles, and it actually gives a healthy thumping of snow to Kentucky rather than southern Indiana. So really it is a close call, folks. It really just is. And basically it is almost a carbon copy of this. It's a very deep low, but just imagine instead of the heavier snow bands right over Indiana. Notice in this model run, by the way, that 540 line is right over part of us, so it would be an icing, could be an icing or mixing kind of wintry mix threat for portions of southern Indiana. The low is just a little bit 50 miles or so further to the south, so that brings the heavier precip bands just a little bit further to the south, and it's not quite as precipitation heavy either. It would deliver several inches of snow to Kentucky, but maybe only a couple inches for Indiana if that solution from today were to verify. So it's close, folks. I think the Euro is locking on to the correct idea, but I don't think it has the right path down just yet. So hopefully by tomorrow, the storm isn't even sampled yet, folks. That's the bottom line. Storm's not sampled. It's not going to be sampled fully until tomorrow morning. I think tonight's runs will start to get a little bit better, and tomorrow's runs will certainly be even better. I think we'll start to get a little bit more of a handle on it. The GFS starting to come into a similar idea. Here's the GFS idea. There is that Clipper system diving down for Sunday, bringing some accumulating snow with it. But notice it has the low as not as a winter storm at all, but as a rainmaker, and it keeps it well suppressed to our south before it starts to move up the seaboard. But there, the GFS also includes that little Clipper system for late on Tuesday. Canadian in a similar fashion here. Here's the Clipper for Sunday. It all moves through. It develops the low, but it keeps it and suppresses it way to the south before going up the coast as well. It sees the Clipper system there for Tuesday as well. So all the models in agreements with the pieces. Clipper Sunday, Southern Storm on Monday, and then another Clipper on Tuesday. The models are all in agreement on the pieces, but the placement is different in each of them. Now let me just dive in very quickly to the data here before we get too long and show you why. This is the GFS, and notice that the GFS was extremely suppressed, really the most out of all of them. So here is the GFS. Here's the energy that spawns the low down to our south, and it kind of spawns the low here. What's forcing it down to our south? Well, look at this piece of energy up here. This piece of energy was not showing up in some of the previous Euro runs, and so what this energy is doing is starting to increase, and so really what that's doing, it's suppressing the system a lot further to our south, keeping it out of the area then. Well, if you look at the ECMWF, if you look at some of its runs that suppress this maybe only into Kentucky and don't go up to us, here's exactly what you've got going on, and you've got that piece of energy a little bit heavier, and so it suppresses the low further south. But watch this. If you go back to the run that I just showed you that gave a decent little thumping to Indiana, watch this. Where's it at up here? It's gone, and so the low can move a little bit further north, not suppressed to the south as much. That idea in the modeling is going to have to be worked out before we can really get the track down of this storm. How big is this northern feature going to be? Are we going to have a pretty impressive little signal up here that's going to impress it to the south? Or will it be similar to this and that's gone, and so the low can come up a little further north to deliver those accumulating snows? Right now there are just extreme amounts of questioning on that right now. But again, the energy is not even on shore yet, so hopefully by tomorrow we'll be able to get some better answers to that idea. What I am confident in, folks, is that we're going to have some snow for Sunday. Here's what the snow maps look like for Sunday. The GFS delivering anywhere from 1 to 2 inches around the area. Canadian 1.5 inches to 2 or so around the area, a little bit heavier as you go to the south. And then basically here your NAM is showing 1 to 2 inches around the area as well. So bottom line, I still think my wintry timeline is pretty well valuable here. Limited accumulations today, 1 inch or 2 of accumulation on Sunday. Still lots of questions, though, here about that winter storm. And, of course, that is the biggie, folks. But I want to stress it will be Saturday before details become clear. So many of you are already saying, oh, it's going well to our south. And I know you snow lovers are absolutely just on pins and needles. And you're saying, oh, we're going to get screwed out of a snow. Again, we can't say that yet, folks. Model runs are going to vary from every single run. And normally, by the way, what's causing this? El Nino. El Nino is really screwing up the modeling. If this had been a non-El Nino year, folks, the Euro probably would have had this path locked in 3 days ago. But the El Nino is really jacking everything up. The southern branch of the jet stream is so active, the models just don't know what to do with it or how to handle things. And so the skill scores are a lot lower right now because of that. So keep that in mind. It's going to be Saturday before we start to know some answers on this. So hopefully by tomorrow, when I do another one of these videos, we'll have a little bit more clear picture for you whether it's going to come. I'll say this, it looks close right now, but it would not surprise me to see that come more north towards us. We'll see, though. I've been wrong before. I'll probably be wrong again. Very well could be wrong, and it might miss us to the south. But I think there's still hope for you snow lovers. Either way, I'm confident Sunday that we've got 1 inch or 2 of snow coming around the area, so at least there is something. By the way, beyond that, a fairly nice little warm-up is coming on the way. Let me just go ahead and pop this in and I'll show you. Yeah, we go down into the 20s on Saturday, but we start to warm up a little bit. But look at this. By the time we get to the end of the next week, 50s are showing up in the forecast. Something for you non-winter lovers in there as well. Don't think it's going to last. It'll be a 4 or 5 day warm-up before it cools down again. But hey, it's something. That's it for this update, folks. I'll have another update for you tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Michael Wilhite for SouthernIndianaWeather.com. Have a great day.